Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis. The last time we talked to the boys from Echo Spirits, we had to do it remotely during this thing they called the pandemic. We're doing it live this time. Echo Spirits with something new on Whiskey Business. I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And whenever we get a chance to dive into actual whiskey on our podcast, you know we have topics ranging from A to Z. But whenever we get to one of the W's, we look forward to it. And tonight is one of those nights. The last time we talked with Joe Bidinger and Nikhil Sharoff was in August of 2020. We had to do it remotely. They are the brains and the talent behind the wonderful products that come from Echo Spirits right here in Columbus, Ohio. Now, when we were emailing, I should say, back and forth, they discussed a new product, which we're going to show you and talk a lot about this evening. They said, what else can we bring to the table? And I said, bring a little of the past, the present, and the future. And we got a little bit of all. And it's like you read my mind, because I've only had a taste of the Echo Spirits rye that you, Greg Hansberry, were kind enough to share with me.
That's right.
At one point. And I go, wow.
My favorite rye in the city.
Wow, this is really good. Considering how young it was. And it was like...
Why did I have it and you didn't? I can't remember.
I don't know, but we can never let that happen again.
You show up occasionally requesting bottles.
Yeah,
and
show up asking for like our favorite. He just, hey, you got any whiskey? Anything you're not using?
Not Greg, we're out. No.
Yeah.
Get out of here, kid.
But Joe Bidinger and Nikhil Sharoff are with us from Echo Spirits. Gentlemen, face to face, here we go.
Face to face for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're in your old stomping grounds. We're in Clintonville, my house in Clintonville, and you guys both went to Bishop Watterson, which is, it's close by. I don't want to say it's right across the street.
It's nearby.
It's nearby.
Looks a little different from when we graduated.
Did you guys graduate together? I don't remember.
Yeah, we did 2004.
2004.
Yeah. 2004.
You guys graduated in 2004. Christ, I'm old. All right. 2004.
I'm feeling the same.
Are you really? Are you really feeling old?
I'm feeling like you're old.
You're feeling? No. Well, that I understand.
I'm kidding.
2004. Congratulations. Obviously, Echo Spirits is thriving since we last talked in 2020.
We like to think so. It's been a while, yeah.
Things have been going really, really well for you guys. I think things have been going really, really well in the whiskey community that is Columbus, Ohio. I mean, we have our own Bourbon Trail now as well.
Absolutely. I've got the shirt on. The proof is in the proof. The Columbus Distillery Trail.
The Columbus Distillery Trail. Yeah. One of the bottles that we're going to sample this evening is just a little taste of the Guild whiskey, right? Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that before we get into the star of the show.
Yeah, so the Guild whiskey. So a couple members of the Guild here in Columbus, we got together last summer and said, hey, let's put a blend together, throw a big event, do ultimately a fundraiser for the Guild, which is kind of fun now. We've got some money in the bank account, something we've never ever had before. To be able to go out and do things, promote whiskey, promote distilleries in all of Ohio. But we got together with High Bank, Watershed, and Middle West, blended together. Let's see, it was the Middle West wheat whiskey, Watershed bourbon,
nice,
and the High Bank Whiskey War, which is a whiskey, but I think if you were to classify it, it would be closest to a rye whiskey, as well as our rye whiskey. Put them all together. Came out with a really great barrel proof expression. It's pretty cool.
That's very cool. I don't know if that's going to be enough for us to sample, but I guarantee you whatever's left, whatever's in that bottle will be gone. Let's get to a little bit of business. We'll introduce the very special guest bottle from Echo Spirits tonight, but Hansberry, have at it.
Thank you for subscribing to Whiskey Business on your favorite podcasting app. Make sure you rate, review, and thank you very much if you do that. And share Whiskey Business. It's a word of mouth. It just always helps spread the word. Let's see. We're on YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis.
I just happened to glance at subscribe. We're adding subscribers on a regular basis.
Well, great.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Because that man, John Whitney over there behind the camera, super thumb.
But
responsible for that.
subscribe when you're checking us out. Subscribe and smash that little bell icon.
Smash it.
Then you'll get a notification every time we post a video, and they are a little bit different than the podcast. I always try to like clean up my drunken dumbness out of the podcast, but John, it's raw and unedited. So just a word of wisdom today, guys.
Yeah, when you watch the YouTube, you're seeing all the.
So it's a little fun.
You're seeing all the everything, yeah, all the flaws and all, which is kind of cool.
It is fun.
And then sometimes
Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, Instagram, and
I don't understand why you clean up the audio and your drunken dumbness on the audio when there's proof of it clearly on video.
You save yourself a lot of time.
You just
let it go. Just let it fly.
Yeah.
Because my mom doesn't know we have a YouTube channel.
fair enough.
She just listens.
I also want to thank Evergreen, the Evergreen Podcast Network, for being our podcast family that they invited us into. I think we're going on a year now, right? Yep, pretty close to a year. If you want to check us out through the Evergreen Podcast Network, you can do that, and all the other great, amazing podcasts that they have to offer. They just moved into new facilities, and they're growing. And
they're out of Cleveland.
They're out of Cleveland. They're getting
far.
bigger and bigger. So I'm happy to say that we hitched our little wagon into their wagon train at the right time. So thank you, Evergreen Podcast, as well. The guest bottle tonight, I'm very intrigued about, because this is once again one of those products of ingenuity, mistakes, accidents, I don't know, whatever the case might. Let's try it and see what happens.
That might be the best place to start, is trying it.
It's Echo Spirits Bavarian Rhapsody whiskey, and this is a am I holding it right, Johnny? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can't see your face.
That's okay. I mean, I don't have to see the bottle right now. Yeah, I'm not going to hold the bottle here.
We don't want to see the face.
The whole time. Go ahead. Do what you want to do with it. All right, there you go. This is something that you collaborated with North High Brewing as well. So let's tell the people about what is in this bottle and what we're going to try. Because I know nothing about it. I actually started to research it and I stopped.
And you stopped, and I don't think you would have found much.
I wanted to find out more from you guys.
So this was kind of born out of the pandemic, probably about the last time that we chatted.
Similar time, yeah.
Right around then. So if you guys know North High Brewing, they've been around since 2012-ish, 2011, something like that, down in the short north. And they originally had a brew on premise operation at their location, where you could go and brew your own beer, make your own beer for friends, keg it, bottle it, take it home with you. So during the pandemic, one of the many casualties of the pandemic was they shut down that operation. They needed to make more space for their bar area. That kind of made more sense for them. So one of our best friends was the brew on premise brewer there. We've known him since our days at Waterson.
Yep.
And he offered us all the leftover malt that they had. So this was kind of back during the days where we're kind of making some hand sanitizer. So we figured, okay, worst case, it becomes some hand sanitizer. Best case, maybe it's interesting. Let's see what happens. So we just took it, threw it all together, put it in the mash tun, fermenter, distilled it, and it turned out pretty good.
Cool.
So we decided to put it in a barrel.
So it's beer whiskey.
It's beer whiskey.
Kind of.
I'm excited.
Well, look at the color.
The color, yeah.
It looks like more like a beer color.
Sure.
It's absolutely
darker.
definitely a little bit lighter, because it's only 18-ish months aged in a used rye barrel. It was from our first batch of rye whiskey, one of those first couple barrels we pulled. But it picked up a lot of color for that time.
Copper Label series. The Copper Label.
Yeah, so that's
series.
kind of what we're calling most of our experimental or
right.
collaborative stuff.
I like it.
Yeah.
We kind of needed a theme that didn't fit with the main kind of label line, but a way to still get that creative outlet and do those special one-offs and fun things.
Oh, okay, but it's not lacking in proof.
Oh, no.
It's not lacking in proof. 110 proof.
110 proof. That was what we put it in the barrel at, and decided to leave it there.
Nice.
That's where we liked it.
The barley and malted wheat single to I don't have my glasses on. Single to forge notes reminiscent of a chocolate. What?
Hefeweizen.
What's that?
Hefeweizen. It's like a German beer.
German
Hefeweizen?
wheat beer.
Yeah.
I don't drink German beers, so that's.
It's like a blonde. Blonde beer.
I know German blondes, but, but I don't know German beers. All right, let's, gentlemen, why don't you go ahead and pour it on your end, and then we'll share some of it as well.
You have to dumb this down for me. What would you? Is it just the ingredients that make this different than the other whiskey in the rye?
Yeah, so a lot of the
processes that's similar.
One of the fun things about this, and kind of then inspired some other projects that we've got kind of sitting in barrels in the pipeline now, is that this was kind of our first experience since we were home brewers. I mean, that's kind of ultimately how Echo Spirits started, was an idea to open a brewery, and just kind of changed course there. Brewers use a lot of specialty malts, they're called, right? Chocolate malts, or wheat malts, or crystal malts, caramel malts. They have all these different flavors to play with that are kind of what defines one style of beer from another, for the most part. Mm-hmm. Distilleries don't really touch those. Distilleries work with corn and wheat and rye and barley, and that's pretty much it. You see a few other weird things out there for sure. But nobody deals with the different kinds of roasts on the barleys and the chocolates and all those kinds of things. So that's kind of what makes this special, is this is sort of a mash of all of those most flavorful components of what brewers would put in a beer, but then taken and distilled.
Well, it's got a strong nose. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can.
It smells like when you go into a brewery or a distillery that's I don't know, yeasty scent or whatever.
Right,
that
fermenting.
Whenever I get a strong, I can smell some of the alcohol in the nose. I'm always like wondering, is that how it's going to go down in the? Because it never.
Right.
One is never always the same.
Absolutely. Sometimes the nose completely throws you off from the way it tastes.
And now. And this would be one of those, the nose completely throws you off. Wow.
It almost tastes like a scotch.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's
that we definitely hear
similar.
That from some of the whiskey
process
people
is very similar.
It's
It's a malt, malted grain. Mm-hmm. It's in a used barrel. I mean, that's basically what Scotch does. So
it's got an amazing after flavor. Like that chocolate comes out. And
the chocolate
it's really
comes out
sweet and
time.
bitter. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on the Scotch as much as you two.
You like Scotch. Like you're more of a connoisseur.
The chocolate is definitely there. It's got a nice long finish.
Very long.
I'm still enjoying the finish. And they call it the Kentucky bourbon hug. I don't know, what are you going to call this? What are we going to call this one? The Columbus warm embrace.
Yeah, I like that.
Because it hangs in there.
It's got some warmth in your chest afterward.
Yeah, which I love. I mean,
it's good.
I mean, I love taking small sips of something like this and having it linger and last. Were you surprised at what came? I mean, when you started to put this together, I mean, did you have a plan? Like, this might suck.
Right.
And if it sucks, what do we do? And if it's good, which it is, what the next plan would be. Right. So were you surprised?
Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we knew that we liked it, and we knew that we liked the idea going into it, but we didn't really know of anybody that had done something quite like this before. So we didn't have anything to really base it on, and we're just kind of fingers crossed.
And do you find that especially? I know that as a bourbon community with all the great distillers we have in town, that there is camaraderie and everybody wants everybody to succeed. But let's be honest, there is a little bit of competition.
Absolutely.
There is a little bit of whenever a chance to put something out there that the other guy doesn't have.
Sure.
Is this the other guy doesn't have this whiskey?
It's at least our breakthrough into it. I mean, like I said, it's kind of a tease of some stuff we've got going on for the future, but yeah, always trying to come up with that thing that separates you from the pack, puts you out there in a way that, the other guys in town, they've been around for a lot longer than we have. They've done a lot of the stuff already that, if we'd come around 10 years ago too, we could have stepped in with a bang. It's been done. Let's go do something else. That's kind of our MO.
You've been doing that. I think you've been doing that well since you started. I mean, you started with the rum. Nobody was doing the rum, the rye, the Geneva. Nobody in the country's doing Geneva. Yeah, I mean, I love that approach for you guys. It's let's find that niche that nobody's filling in yet, and go for
Right,
it.
let's go find those holes and plug them. Yeah.
So, and I know we talked about this back in August of 2020, but you guys are friends. You went to high school together.
Yeah.
All right, and you embark on this journey that is Echo Spirits, and here we are. Almost 2 years later, a good solid year and a half, anyway. And how are you? How have your lives changed in general with the success of Echo Spirits? Because you are succeeding, you're winning.
We spend a whole lot more time but last time we talked in the middle of the pandemic, sometimes there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to do.
Right.
We launched, got our first products out there like October of 2019. So we had no foothold gained when the pandemic hit. So, those first few months were scary. There wasn't a lot to do.
Yeah.
Our only customers that we had were bars and restaurants, and they were shut down hard.
Were you fearful that everything might go belly up?
Absolutely, that it might just kind of flip over right before we could even get started.
And I mean, at that point, we didn't know how.
Got a hole in your mouth there, buddy?
I wanted to get a bigger gulp.
But yeah, we had we had no idea how long it would last too.
No, right.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we're coming out of it, you're still like, it's like, come on in, the water's fine. Like, okay, all right, just my toe. I'm gonna put my toe in.
Right.
And if it feels good, I'll put my whole foot in, and then maybe I'll dive in. We're still right about there, but yes, things are definitely improving. So I'm thrilled with that. Now, both of you married? Or
I'm not.
you're not married. You're married.
I am.
And apparently, during the pandemic, when you weren't making whiskey, you decided to have
Making babies.
Make some other things.
Make
yeah.
some other things
well, we
as
had
well.
We got into the pandemic and we're like,
what's in that mash bill?
there's gonna have to be a lot of editing done there.
What's in that mash bill?
Well, we got into the pandemic and we're like, well, we've already got 2 dogs and a cat, so
yeah.
that's what everyone else is doing. So I guess we'll redo the kitchen, and then when we got bored with that, projects were done, and so we locked ourselves in for the next 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Congratulations, by
Thank
the
you
way.
so
When's
much.
Baby due?
July 30th.
July 30th. You know
But-
what you're having?
It's a boy.
Oh boy!
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Which I figured was pretty good for me. I grew up with brothers. I didn't have sisters. I didn't have any, female cousins in town, anything like that. So I was a little worried about if we had a girl, I was gonna have to figure out this whole new universe. For a boy, I just got to get to action figures.
Yeah.
I'll be set then. I'll know what I'm doing.
And he might, when he gets to be all grown, have a distillery to play.
He might
with
have a
as
job
well,
waiting for him,
Have
right?
a job
Yeah,
in
cheap
there.
labor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna be.
Oh, as soon as he can stand, he's bottling.
So
Why is this label on crooked?
Yeah.
with a baby on the way, does more of the responsibility shift over to you, Nikhil, or is everything still pretty like how you guys started?
We're gonna work through that.
We're gonna have to figure that one
I
out.
think
Yeah.
probably, I'm sure. But we're also hiring a bunch of employees, and we're getting more staff in general. So that's gonna spread the work. Because like last time we talked, I was still doing my other job,
Right.
Let alone what we were doing there, and then now it's evolved into us. I quit my job like basically last year, and
Was that a good feeling,
Oh yeah, it was good for sure.
knowing that you could quit your job with confidence in the middle of a pandemic,
Right.
And
Yeah.
say this is where my commitment lies now.
Right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, no, it's good, and it's good to be just fully in it, nothing else.
Yeah, they're hiring Hansberry. Maybe
Yeah,
we
right.
won't have to go knocking. Hey, you got any whiskey? Maybe we just get a job there and work for whiskey.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, if you guys
I will
want to
pay you
bottle
in whiskey.
yeah, we could. I mean, I can go back and bottle right now if you want. I mean,
Paid. Let's see, money or whiskey. All right. Sorry, honey.
And let's be honest. What was it going to turn into anyway?
Right. You were going to
Just
use
skipping
money
the step.
to buy
Yeah,
whiskey.
going to use money.
Let's
Yeah.
just cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Going back to the barter
Just
system.
cut
That's
to
all
the
fine. That's
chase.
what money's for.
All right, and
I'm in. All right.
And what do the people at North High Brewing think of this?
They think it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're having fun with it. They're picking up a couple bottles and doing a special cocktail release, for a brewery to do a special cocktail for us at their Short North and their Dublin locations. That's pretty cool. They're excited about it. They're psyched that somebody could turn beer into this.
And when it comes to the marketing and the labeling and so forth, who's the brains behind this?
So we very early on, one of the first things we did, long before we had a physical location for the distillery, was we started working with a branding agency up in Worthington, so local as much as possible, called Nonfiction. And we worked with them. We've worked with them since the beginning. Love our relationship. It's very, very collaborative, which is great. We've got ideas, but not necessarily the know-how on how to put them onto a label, for example, or paper. So it's been really great to, kind of have a good partnership long-term, people who understand our brand, what we're trying to do, and who believe in us just as much.
I love the looks. Love them. It's fun. And doesn't it say like Phil needs fill, or what does it say?
On the side of all the labels,
Yeah,
there's a little notch cut out, and above it, time for a toast, and below it, time for another bottle.
I always like that part.
I never noticed that before.
Is it on this one?
I don't
think we have.
I don't think they're on those ones. Not on the copper labels. Yeah.
Bavarian Rhapsody whiskey. All right, how we come up with the name? Because of the Bavarian, because of the chocolate?
It's because there's a lot of, because of the
Bavarian
chocolate.
wheat in there.
We know there's Bavarian wheat, so that's some of it. The other fun factor of this, we lost the recipe.
Yeah.
We couldn't make this again if we tried.
Are you kidding me?
We don't know what went into it.
So this is it. Whatever's bottled and out there,
so, yeah.
this is a one and done.
It's one and done.
I
wish I could make it all day long. I'd make this over and over again, but maybe someday we'll try to backtrack and figure it out again, but we don't have the recipe.
So
we don't know what went in it.
How many bottles did we get?
It was a small barrel that wasn't even totally full, something like 70.
Yep, just over 70.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
and we're drinking one
and
of
you're
70.
Drinking one of them.
Glug 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 glug. Fill that up while we're still here.
Yeah.
I almost feel bad. I thought there was a bunch of this.
No, but that's what it's for. We like to put it out there for people to enjoy. That's why we got into this. We got into this. We were homebrewing a lot, and I was giving away beer, getting feedback, loving it. It's about the conversation and the people and the connection for us.
Oh my gosh! So where do those 70 bottles go? Who gets
them?
them?
Well, hopefully they go very quickly.
I know they're going to go. They're going to go especially
very quickly. Yeah.
After the word gets out. But who gets the privilege?
Whoever shows up first Friday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, so this episode will have dropped. It just drops Monday.
Yeah, the
this,
madness will have started.
Gone.
It might be gone by the time this podcast.
It's going to be fun for us to see this one. We've never done really like a special whiskey release like this. We've done some other special releases, and it's funny. People will always call us. Like we had a fun. Our Queen Share rum came out last fall, in November, and we had people calling us like the next day saying, "Hey, do you have any left?" And I'm like, no, guys, I'm not Watershed. I'm not High Bank here. Yeah. Like I didn't sell thousands of special bottles in a single day. I've got 300 bottles, and I'm gonna have them for a while. Just come on in.
8.
We sold 8. Come on in.
Yeah, I don't. No, I'm gonna say it. Because we're all family here. We did a private pick for Watershed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it turned out really good. Mm-hmm. I love Watershed, and they know that. So, but we'd be more than happy to do a barrel pick.
I was gonna make a suggestion that we do what about not a barrel pick? What about a barrel make?
Oh, taking it up a notch.
It'll take a few years, but
it's fine. But you know what they because a lot of people,
job security.
A lot of people were under they were under the impression that we created that particular bottle. No, Watershed. Aaron.
Right. Aaron,
master distiller there. We just selected from 4 barrels. But a lot of people were under the impression that we had a hand in creating it. I go, no. But what you're saying is actually have a hand in making
barrel.
Let's have you guys pick out what you like. We'll work on a recipe. Come in. Mash it with us, distill it with us, put it in a barrel.
Wants us to work for him.
Yeah. We talked about that cheap labor thing, and it sounds.
And I'm in already.
Let's do it.
I got the My whiskey nut is just twitched a little bit. It's just a little bit.
A little TMI.
Swelling.
TMI.
I have actually one of my testicles actually twitches a little bit
does it?
whenever it gets excited about whiskey.
There you go.
Happened somewhere in my late 50s. I can't explain it.
That's how he knows
the only
whether he likes it or not.
That gets any movement down there.
I don't have a whiskey testicle, people. I really don't.
Just for the
I'm
record.
embellishing a little bit, but I am excited about that possibility.
I think that'd be fun.
That problem. And I will
Love
call
to
you
do it.
out on that.
No,
We'd love to do that.
We
We got into this
Yeah.
business to do fun things with fun, creative people. That's
I always said
that's why we're here.
a business whiskey would taste like cigarettes and ink.
All right.
Sure, we can
Who
figure
would
it
drink
out.
that?
I don't know.
Cigarettes and ink.
I don't know, but-
Tobacco,
well,
say
you don't-
tobacco at least.
All right,
You don't
so
put
is
that
it
tasting
tobacco?
note on the side of the bottle. You don't let them know until they've
Tastes
already
like
bought it.
cigarettes and ink. Oh,
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah, just like a newspaper, sitting there, smoking a cigarette, reading a newspaper.
Oh, that's the kind of feel we would go for.
And taste.
Something old school. We would go with an old school
Typewriter ink.
typewriters, and we would go, the things that are old school and kind of retro and cool.
Right.
But I wouldn't put it like tastes like cigarettes and ink.
It's like licking an old library book.
Reminiscent of a burning cigarette and a fountain pen of ink. And back in the day when people wrote letters and typed on typewriters,
Neatly writing
yes,
on
right. You know,
personal.
when everybody had the handwriting of a prepubescent Elizabethan girl, when everybody could write beautifully in cursive.
I've never
Right.
heard those words in that order before.
Yeah, well, you never will again because I had a hard time with prepubescent.
Says the guy with the testicle, the
Right,
whiskey
with
nut.
the whiskey nut.
Mom, I'm sorry. Don't watch the video or listen to this one.
All right, I'm putting that down right now as not a name for our whiskey. It will not be called whiskey
The whiskey nut.
Whiskey nut.
That would be fun. I mean, because what are you working
peanut
on
butter
right
whiskey.
now? There's got to be something you guys have cooking right now that's going to be released in a year or two, right? Anything that you're allowed to?
Yeah, let's talk about we talked about the present a little bit. We'll come back to it to remind you that there are only 70 bottles of this, and by the time this thing airs, maybe none. So
How much? What are you going to sell it for at the bottle shop?
It's only $35.
what?
I know.
Steal.
right?
What?
We want to get
That's not gonna-
get it out there, get it in front of people.
Okay, let me change what I'm saying for the podcast because, like I said, this is going to drop on Monday. If you didn't get any of this, I'm sorry, but at $35 a bottle, did you really expect 70 bottles of this and the reputation that Echo Spirits is garnering for themselves over the last couple of years? Did you really expect to? If you did, you got one. $35, that's insane.
We are.
To support a nice local business. I love it.
It's
Creative.
fun. We like those
Yeah,
experiments. The bread and butter is the rum and the rye and the vodka and all those
This
things.
is the fun
and
stuff. This is the stuff to
This
get
is
out
the
there.
I
fun
was going to
stuff.
let it slide, but I can't. It's bugging me. It's bothering me. Before we talk about the future, how the fuck did you lose the recipe? What happened?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
it was just
I was gonna let it slide, but it was nagging at me.
Well,
What the hell?
So when they came over with all the stuff, like we just had a bunch of little like blue barrels full of malt extract, and some of them weren't even labeled. So like, I mean, didn't really have a recipe to begin
Any
with.
even
idea
know what
of
it
what
was
we
to
have?
begin
We have
with.
Yeah.
a little bit of an idea of some of what was in it, not in what proportions, and
We just know it's all
and
malted grain.
That's
all
from
we-
reading half of a torn off label that we suddenly were
Yeah.
like, oh, this has been in a barrel for 8 months now, and we realize, hey, this is tasting pretty good. Maybe we should figure out what was in that.
Right.
And
Yeah,
and,
they're just
it's
a
like
bunch
half
of-
reading a label, and you're like, well, that one just says malt, so I don't know about that one.
Okay, so what you are saying, even though you lost the recipe, there's still a chance that you can put a variation on the theme
Definitely. Yeah.
on this, and we can come back with another Bavarian Rhapsody two. Or whatever the case might be.
Part two.
You know, something similar to it. Something in this. Well, you said it right here. It says the Copper Label series.
Absolutely.
Series
Series
plural
implies many.
It implies that there'll be other things. So you have other ingredients to work with where you can concoct and actually write them down.
And write them down this time. Maybe figure it out. Maybe improve on it. Who knows?
Maybe improve on it. Wow. Well, if you improve on this, that would be sensational.
Ink and cigarettes.
Because cigarettes and ink.
Cigarettes and ink.
Cigarettes and ink. Let me tell you.
Definitely.
All this talk of cigarettes makes me. I've been trying not to smoke on the podcast, but now I'm sorry.
ruined it.
You ruined it. It's you guys don't mind, do you?
Go for it.
Yeah,
Go for it. All right.
He's not pregnant. This is
He's
why.
I'm not pregnant.
But I'm trying. I did all kinds of. It's look. This is what you do when you don't have a Band-Aid.
I was wondering what that was about.
Duct tape.
He has a piece of duct tape stuck to his hand.
Yeah, it's like stuck in my hand. Yeah.
All right.
I cut it.
I've been hearing
And I-
more about this. Our coworker Stacy,
And I cut
husband
over
does
there.
it. My wife's trying to get me to do it to tape my mouth when I sleep. Apparently, it forces you to breathe through your nose, and then it's
I'm
a
not-
natural cure for like snoring
not-
or
it's
apnea.
It's a
and that kind
natural
of thing.
cure. Well, it's going to cure your apnea by killing
by
you.
suffocating yourself.
Will
Yeah.
suffocate.
Yeah.
If I understand anything about how the human body works, I
Good
believe
news,
that
no
you need
longer have
oxygen.
apnea. Bad news, you're also dead.
Right.
It's,
Honey, it worked. I didn't snore all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah. there's that.
so Johnny brought some water for us. Here, Johnny. As a matter of fact, I know I have an empty glass over here. We can rinse out some of our glasses and pour your waters into there. Cool. And then I want to try. What do you think we should try first? Should we try the Guild or some of this amazing rye, which I'm still trying to figure out why it tastes so good when it's so young.
And what number are you on now?
This is batch 4, 3 years and 7 months.
Okay, so you're getting
old. So
there.
it's starting to get up there in age a little bit, and it is noticeably different from some of the other ones. I think one thing that often gets overlooked in distilling, we talk about what grains you use and then how you mash it, how you ferment it, how you distill it. And the thing that people often overlook is that you can hand two different distilleries the exact same barrel at the exact same age. Everything went into it the same. And the final proof that you choose drastically changes, obviously, the flavor. I know definitely a lot of, whiskey aficionados prefer pulling barrel proof because then they can kind of pick it on their own. Or, when you add water, it doesn't dilute it too much, that kind of thing. But we chose, 93 proof specifically because we sat down and tasted it, and that sounds like a wonderful day, but that's a very long day sitting down and figuring out that final proof. And that's where we liked it. And that's where we started highlighting some of the other features that weren't just barrel and peppercorn, things like that, and trying to pick the best flavor for that age.
Okay, so the rye that you gave me was their initial rye right out of the gate.
Yeah, that was
right?
one. I think that was
be
bottle
Batch,
one,
yeah,
which is
batch
so I
one, so
missed
2
two.
years
This is
old. So
three?
this is 4.
This is 4.
This is 4.
So I'm
Just
going
came
from
out.
1 to
This is
4.
This is not even out
Okay.
in stores just yet.
Okay, when's this come out?
Yeah.
All right, let me.
It's starting to flow out. It'll be out probably next week.
it just says
starting in
3
stores.
sells out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as 3 sells out, batch 4 will start to kind of
This is
flow out
batch
into
4.
the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
I
try
wish I would
this.
have kept. I wonder if I did keep the bottle with the one because you guys signed a bunch of
Oh
them.
yeah,
yeah.
We've got it was fun last summer. We
This
went
one's signed.
Yeah.
we went to the Central Ohio Whiskey Society, and we managed to find
Right.
well, we brought batches 2 and 3 and our single barrel, which was really what we were there to show off. And it was held at Buckeye Bourbon House, and we realized they had a bottle of batch 1 behind the bar. So we were able to do a full flight of everything we had. That was all product that was distilled on the exact same day and just aged
So
for
is there
different
anything?
times.
Is there anything that stays constant through batches 1 through 4, in respect to
They
the
are
rye?
drastically.
Or are they all
different.
drastically different?
They taste very drastically different. To
There's
me.
a couple
It is lot
notes
of
that
fun.
probably do go through most of
Yeah,
them.
definitely
but,
the
pink
kind of like the
peppercorn.
pink peppercorn,
Yeah.
which we like to make fun of Derek about. But
He always talks about that.
But he's absolutely correct. It's kind of a pink peppercorn, not like a spicy, true like black peppercorn
Right.
flavor.
Derek's your bar, what did you
he's-
say? Bar,
oh, yeah, he's
bar
our beverage
manager,
director,
beverage
beverage
director
director,
at the place.
Now, see, this is a nose. This is like when I tried the Bavarian, it was a very hot alcohol nose, and it was deceptively wonderful when it went
Sure,
down
right.
and hit my palate. Now this one,
Sweet.
I'm hoping that the
matches.
nose matches the palate because it's a beautiful nose.
It's nice. Yeah, it's got it's starting to pick up a lot more of that barrel character over
Yeah.
time, but it still maintains a lot of those kind of floral notes and things like that
Very
that we're
floral.
going for.
It's real creamy. I already tasted it.
You're
You can only smell something so much.
No, never mind. No, you're fine. You're good. You're good. My little monster that
You're a
I've
good boy,
created.
Greg.
My little monster
Can I take a sip yet,
that I've created over the years.
It's creamy and smooth, especially coming after the 110 proof.
Wow. Yeah, it is. I'm very pleased with. I don't think you spent enough time on the nose, but your palate has become remarkably on point over the
Can I
years.
say something that I think it reminds me of, but it's not a food, so I don't want to sound rude. Pencil shavings. I don't know. I just.
So like wood.
One
Sure.
job,
Yeah.
one
That
job
wood
you're
character.
never
Yeah,
going to
wood
get
characters.
is going to be in marketing at any distillery.
Cigarettes,
ink, pencil
shaving.
shavings, dog poop,
eraser,
dog poop, diarrhea.
But I mean, you're absolutely right, though.
it's the
The
very
wood
woody,
character
woody
from it. I mean,
characteristic.
it is
Yeah.
interesting how people have definitely picked that up over the last couple years doing it. That people will describe things different ways, and if you kind of trace
ate a
it
lot of
back to
pencil shavings when I was a
I bet
kid.
he did.
I mean, you were doing so well with smooth. You were doing so well with smooth and creamy.
Were these
You really
original
did. You
old
really
school
were.
lead pencils?
Yeah,
by
yeah,
chance?
yeah.
Number twos. Number twos.
Yeah.
From the
Pencils
nuns.
down. Pencils down.
I know. I always like to use the word funky, but people are put
No,
off
this
by
is not
that.
funky.
But
This is not funky at all. This is what's the proof on this?
93.
93. So it's
It's not barrel, but not 80 either.
no,
yeah.
not 80 either. Though 80s are fine. I mean,
80s are fine.
Sometimes when I'm just having a casual day,
Oh, yeah.
that's all I want is
Not
an 80
trying to
proof.
turn it on.
It's a
Yeah, I
breakfast-
just want
breakfast
something low.
bourbon.
Breakfast
At
bourbon.
80. So, are you going to reach a point where
Which
you're
is
like,
low.
we need to, stop aging it? At what point do you say, all right, we pull it all, we want it all, and you're
So that's
it.
what we are kind of getting to that point. Unlike bourbon, which does well much longer in a barrel. I mean, people definitely argue, how long. My sweet spot for bourbon is right around 8 years usually. A lot of people like up to 12 or more.
Sure.
Rye doesn't
I love rye.
get the same benefits from being in
No.
a barrel for that long.
No, it does not.
Especially these are 30-gallon barrels.
Is that bigger or
they'll-
smaller?
Smaller.
Smaller.
Normal barrels are 53, so 30-gallon barrel. By having more surface area contact with the wood, kind of helps accelerate that aging profile. It's not a true replication of what it would be in a big one, but the problem then is you get this point where it gets over oaked. And for rye in a 30-gallon, that is somewhere around the 4-year mark.
So
So,
you're
we'll have to be pulling the rest of it very soon.
This is terrific. This is terrific. I would. This could be an everyday pour for me. What's this one retail for?
42. 42.
42. So
I
the,
agree.
The
It's
one, the one that there's plenty of
Plenty of.
is 42. The one that is rare and only 70.
We're all kinds of backward here at Echo.
Catholic school education, right?
That's right.
That's right.
I don't know. It feels like this much.
And how goes it with the what initially paid the bills? The rum.
The rum. I mean, the rum is by far our top seller.
The rum is your bread and butter. The rum is what you made what you put your flag in the ground and said we're starting
Absolutely.
with this, and that's kind of
It does well. It's interesting for us. We kind of learned this last year with our first kind of full semi-regular year behind us. Most distilleries, most alcohol companies make all their money October, November, December. That's when everybody's going out to drink, everybody's going out to restaurants, office parties, that kind of thing. We made all of our money, though, from April to September. And that's because we're rum heavy. So bars and restaurants that pick us up and use a lot of us, certain bars that are using a couple hundred bottles over the course of a summer, they're looking for the rum then, and then they start to back off and look at the whiskeys, the vodkas, other things, other seasons.
I haven't told you this or you this. This is breaking news.
What? How dare you?
Breaking news. I'm actually going to try to get into rums a little bit more here in the spring and summer as far as a summer cocktail. I think I'm missing out.
Yep. I grew up drinking shitty, Captain and whatever. So like,
It's not shitty.
Well, you know what I mean. But you're
when
right.
you poured a shitload of Coke into it, maybe.
No, but to your point, like there's good craft
Nothing
rum.
against Coca-Cola.
Craft rum.
My favorite.
Coca-Cola.
I love Coca-Cola.
It's like that Wayne's World where they they do all the sponsorship inside.
I don't want to offend anybody that might be a potential sponsor of whiskey business. So, we love Coke and Pepsi and RC Cola. What the hell?
How about a McDonald's?
But yeah, I am gonna try to dive into the rums a little bit more. There was a friend of mine that was actually in Cuba, and brought back some Cuban rum, and like, wow, okay, this is a taste that I've not purposely ignored, but doing this podcast and getting involved and trying to have, I think this might be. I wonder where you guys are at. I wonder if you guys did you make it? Oh, okay. No, you are the 193rd and 94th since we tried, because we never had this actually on the podcast. So you guys are the 193rd and 194th bottles that we've had on the podcast.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Only 7 more.
Only 7 more to get to 200. We don't know what the 200th should be. No, we're going to drink that tonight. we can't. Oh, so that'll be 195. So only 5 more to go. 5 away.
We've been talking about, all right, do we, try to find the rarest, nicest thing in the history, or just like the shittiest bottom, dustiest shelf bottle you can find for, $8.99?
Got a few. What's the bottle I've got at home?
What, that's good or
No,
bottom?
it's bottom.
Kentucky Gentleman?
Bottom. No.
Senator?
Maybe. Yeah.
Nothing center. Yeah.
Senator something. Is that the one that
I'm not sure.
we use that when we're mocking up cocktail sodas for the bar.
It's like,
we're like, well, I need
one.
something that looks brown in here, but don't waste the good stuff.
Don't waste the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, so just let me. Okay, let's thumbs up on
The rye's great.
the rye's great. Okay.
And and to your point, if you've had the other ones, you got to try this one because
You gotta
they're
try
all
this one,
slightly
too.
different. Slightly
All right,
different.
so far we're nothing but winner, and we still have the Distillers Guild blend to try, and just for the past, a little bit of the Jennifer. But I have a question: if you're drinking bottom shelf whiskey, if you're drinking someone else's whiskey and not your own, if you're drinking a bottom shelf, I want to know what your favorite is, because let's be honest, we love whiskey, and yes, you probably drink a lot of your own product, but before you got into this business, you were drinking something else.
Sure.
So if you had to
Right.
pick a bottom shelf whiskey that you think is like you know, if you're looking for a value, this is the one you should get. What is it?
So yeah, it's definitely a fun, kind of change of pace for us now. Owning a distillery, owning a bar, about the about as low as I go anymore is Woodford, which feels pretty good.
That's not that low.
That's not that
That's
low.
not that low.
No,
That's
no.
not. I wouldn't put that on the bottom shelf.
No, absolutely not. Probably, I think my kind of go-to back in the
All
day
right,
was Jim Beam.
You got $20. What are you buying?
Probably Beam.
Beam?
Yeah, Beam.
Nikhil?
I don't know. What are the cheapest scotches? Probably.
That's true. You're more of a Scotch.
So
yeah.
you more of a
just my-
Scotch
well,
guy?
yeah, between my
red label or something.
the Indian blood in me loves Scotch.
know what
So
that
like,
costs.
No,
Yeah.
okay. What does that mean? I don't know. I did not know that.
Indian
Indians-
people love Scotch.
Scotch?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Scotch.
Why?
Single
It's very
malts. Oh
popular.
yeah.
I'm not totally sure, and something to do with probably the British connection. But yeah, in India, in America, everywhere, Indian people love Scotch.
Really?
So yeah, it's always been around. And that's probably what I'd go to, like whatever the cheapest Johnny Walker you can find. Is that red label or is it
Red
green?
label,
Green
Johnny
Red
Walker.
Label, I think
Yeah,
Red's
prob-
lowest.
that's
I
probably
don't
what
know
I'd end
it
up
costs
getting.
anymore, but yeah.
Yeah,
back
I
in the
remember
day.
you get whenever I'd step up the Johnny Walker Black, that was a big thing, and then I had Johnny Walker Blue for the first time with I'm name dropping. Sorry, I had Johnny Walker Blue for the first time with comedian Ron White.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
wow.
On his Ron White and I worked together back in the day when I did stand up, and he was coming through town, and I was on his bus, and he had a a rider in his contract that every show had a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
that was amazing. That was
also good stuff.
Beautiful stuff. For me, $20 or less, I'd go with the Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. You know,
See it right
either
there.
that.
Right there.
Oh, there it is. It's up there. It's over there.
Oh, look right in front.
Well, because these are
Well, yeah.
these are everyday. These are everyday.
Yeah,
barrels.
He needs quick access to those.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I try to keep something on my bar that for everyday pours that there's we had some Old Crow on the podcast which was surprisingly not bad.
It's not bad.
We had this on our Fat Tuesday Indulgence podcast. We did this
With a crave case
and
of
this,
White
and this is
Castles.
all that's left.
There you go.
This
there
is
you
all
go.
that's left from Fat Tuesday.
God.
We
had
drank
two of
all.
those, didn't
we drank. No, I only had one of these.
Oh, we only had
I only
one.
had no, but we had 30 White Castles.
There you go.
Yeah, he
That-
ate
that
10
was-
of them. Johnny
that
ate
was
10 of them.
How much is like a? I think Old Forester is just above that mark, right? Old Forester's like $28, $30, but,
Old
but that's
Forester's
my
so.
that's my everyday.
Old
That's,
Forester-
that's my kind of everyday go-to.
That's your
Old Forester, any of the Old Forester lines,
Yeah.
probably my average
Solid,
go-to.
right?
Yeah.
Very
Can't
old
go
Barton.
wrong,
We've been
definitely.
sold on the very old Barton because you
The,
could buy a gallon of it for $4 or whatever.
the Columbus Italian Club. I went down and helped them pick a barrel of Old Forester, and we just got it. A barrel pick just for ourselves, just for the club, and it sold out immediately. It came in at 129 proof.
Jeez.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, and I kind of swayed the influence a little bit in respects of this. It's smooth. It is one of those, much like the Bavarian Rhapsody, where on the nose it's a little burny and you can smell the alcohol, but once you put it on the palate and let it go down, smooth, and even opens up even more wonderfully once there's just a little bit of ice or water in it.
Just go in there and let it air a little bit.
And we had a barrel at the club and it's gone already.
You don't got a bottle?
No, I have 4 bottles coming
we're
to me. I haven't picked them up yet.
We'll do one of those for
Oh
the
yeah,
show.
yeah,
You guys
definitely.
can
We're
come back
definitely
to it.
doing that. But that's kind of mean to
drink
do
all
that.
4 of
It's
them,
kind
you
of
can probably
mean to
get
do
200.
that
Because nobody else will
because
ever have
nobody
it.
else will be able to get it. But I don't know. I'm sorry.
Their
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, much like this one will be somebody else's problem. 70 bottles.
70 bottles.
You could have given 70 bottles away to friends and family.
Oh, and they're coming out of the woodwork for it. Yeah.
Right? No,
They
this
are.
bo-
They're-
They've reached the point where they have to start charging people.
Right.
Sorry,
and I
Grandma.
won't blow you. I won't blow you shit. Is this leaving with you when you leave, or does this stay here?
Down, staying here with you.
This one. Oh, okay.
69 bottles. Ah, crap.
They're not going to make budget this
No.
April.
How the hell are you guys making any money
I know,
whatsoever?
right?
You might call your former employer.
Right.
Because
Might need our jobs
you're
back.
Giving away whiskey like
Do
this.
the math here. Something's wrong.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so happy for everything that's going on with you guys right now, and we're not done yet at all. We're going to try the Distiller's blend as well. Now, if they hadn't come to you to ask you to be part of this, would your feelings have been hurt?
Ooh.
I don't. I
No,
mean, like,
I
not
don't
really.
think
I
so.
mean, we're honestly the smallest one out of all the ones in there.
Yeah, but I mean, it was
I mean,
by
happy to
far
be
there were
part of
definitely other larger distilleries in Columbus that they could have
Yeah,
gone to,
right.
or anywhere in the state for that matter.
Right.
So it was.
But this is kind of Columbus centric.
Absolutely, this is all Columbus, and then we're working on launching a similar effort in Cincinnati, and then there'll be another one this summer or this fall in Columbus. A second
So,
Columbus one.
did you answer my question? Would your feelings have been hurt just a little bit?
Probably a little bit.
Probably a little
bit,
Sure.
but more for the
No,
cool
this is
factor.
still that. But you guys, I mean, we've been saying it all along. You guys have such a great relationship. All of you guys do. And because doesn't Middle West do most of your juicing or whatever you
For the
call
rye
it anyway?
whiskey, yeah. So the rye whiskey, we did distill it over at Middle West.
I mean,
absolutely.
and then it's just so cool. I mean, we've talked about that a million times, and the same thing when you talk to Greg or Ryan or whatever. They're like, why compete? Let's just.
They're not. Everybody's very supportive of everybody else, which I
Absolutely.
think is pretty awesome. And I don't know of any other business.
Right.
There's no real industry
Where
that's
that
like
would-
that
where
outside
that
of
would be.
beer and spirits. That's
Right.
really about it. And even beer, I would say, is more competitive. The
Sure.
You
distilleries,
don't see
we're all-
Budweiser going over to Miller going, hey,
No.
whatever, let's work together and put something out you know,
Together.
that
together.
tastes like water.
You don't see that happen.
And,
No.
and I'm trying to think what it would be called. Anheuser Miller Lite.
I mean, no, I'm serious. You wouldn't see McDonald's and
Anheuser-Busch Coors
Wendy's
ABC.
collaborating on something.
No, right.
No.
Well, I mean,
No.
yeah.
No, you wouldn't see it happening.
I'm
So the
trying to
fact
think of
that-
another industry where that would work. I mean, I guess maybe some of the but it's still the same industry. The restaurant and bar industry. I think you guys collaborated a little bit, but at some same degree, you still are competing for the same people and the same bucks.
I think we all kind of look at it as, we're not Budweiser, Miller. We're not those huge guys. My target isn't water. We came out with the vodka. It's not, my target's not Watershed vodka. It's not High
Right.
Bank vodka. It's not Middle West vodka. It's Tito's. It's Barton vodka. It's some of those other huge brands out there. It's Smirnoff. The huge ones that are countrywide that aren't. If I take a little dent out of them, they're not even going to
not
notice.
even
But
gonna
it's
ship.
huge for us and for
Right.
the other local distilleries.
So before I take a sip of this, and be honest, despite the fact that there was a collaborative effort in this, can you distinguish a little bit of yours in this bottle when you're drinking it?
Yeah, definitely. You can pick up the different notes, especially. So we were there when we did the blend. So we each brought 3 different barrels worth, and kind of had to sit there and measure it all out. And, knowing that some of the barrels were 53-gallon barrels, some were 30s. So we kind of tasted every iteration of it and every kind of combination of those blends before we all kind of as a team agreed.
So there
that's
was
where it
a team vote. There was
Absolutely,
a consensus.
yeah.
This is the one that we're going
This
to put
is
out.
the one that's going to go. Yeah, we each kind of came up with our own blend and submitted it. And then we all tried to recreate that, try it again, and we all kind of came
This
to the same
also is very
decision that
floral
that's the one.
on the nose.
This
is
also very floral.
very
That's
floral.
and that might be some of our barrel kind of shining through there.
Ooh,
What's the proof?
121.6.
Yes, 121.6. It is high.
Are you seeing the trend of higher proofs? I mean, I've noticed that more.
Absolutely,
So
yeah. I mentioned my brother-in-law on a regular basis on his podcast. He seems to have he's kind of leaned towards the higher proofs. Like you give him something that's 80 proof and it might taste good, but he's not satisfied. It's almost like a junkie. In some ways, a whiskey
putting
junkie.
fentanyl in the
Yeah,
whiskey.
yeah. It's just like hey, what I got before ain't cutting it. I need 100 proof or higher.
You need to take that Evan Williams bottled in bond and add some Everclear, spike it a little bit.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
Whiskey's the problem.
But that's a good question, Hansberry. Do you notice that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the trend, and it's interesting because it's a little bit of a Central Ohio thing in particular. When you talk to people outside of just even Central Ohio, other people in Ohio, Central
Did you get some?
Ohioans
I
are
have
the
some at
ones
the bar,
going
so.
for the going for the barrel proof, going for the super high proof.
You know what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
what?
Hansberry.
I just offered it to them.
I know, and
John,
they said they didn't want it anymore,
give some-
and then you decided that you wanted
Well,
all
that
of
was
it.
you've already had a sip. I haven't had any yet.
But my sip was smaller than your pour. I poured a sip. You poured. Whatever.
If I push the glass down,
Into the table.
I'm sorry.
Into the
Joe, I didn't
table.
interrupt
No,
you.
you're-
I was just scolding my son.
as we're talking about being so friendly and open, sharing with everybody.
but we fight with each other over
Collaborate.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Hey, you got more than me.
That's the extent of the disagreements we have in the whiskey industry.
Right.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No.
Because I saw something unacceptable happening over here.
Had
and I
to
had to
correct
stop
it.
it.
Slap his hand.
But in respects to the higher proof, yes.
Yeah, higher
yes,
proof
definitely.
in particular, it's a Central Ohio thing, and I don't know why that got started or how it got started, but some of the bottles that people lust after here, that we're going for, that people wait in line at 6 a.m. those are just sitting on a shelf up in Cleveland. Nobody cares. It's not a big thing. They're going for other stuff. And for some reason, Central Ohio's kind of built up this community of whiskey lovers looking for very specific, unique things and higher proof bottles. And they just go for it. I don't know where that started, but it's absolutely a trend.
Yeah.
The higher proof is
The higher
trend.
proof, absolutely.
But it's a gamble because to me that perfect marriage is a higher proof that doesn't burn the hell out of you.
Right.
And actually, okay, it's a high proof. Okay, this is 129 proof. Woo! But if it's
It doesn't
smooth,
mean it tastes good. Yeah,
it doesn't
Right.
mean it's gonna taste good.
Right.
I mean,
And that's, personally, I find my tastes gravitate toward, lower in that 90 to 100
Well, like you
range
said,
is
you
generally
really,
my sweet
93 is where you.
But when you
We
find
picked that
a
one,
higher
right.
proof that's
That you do like
that's
it.
100 proof or 119 or 120 that is remarkably smooth, I mean that's a beautiful marriage.
Oh, absolutely.
Of something.
Oh, yeah.
That's been put together and scary at the
And,
same time.
scary at the same time because
right.
sometimes those go down just as smooth
Just
as
too smooth,
the lower
and you
ones.
forget that you're drinking
Oh, no.
129 proof whiskey.
Well, right. That's the problem for me.
Yeah.
What do you? I'll let you say it. What am I, 120
No,
proof guy and
you said it.
189 or an 89 proof
you're a
body?
120 proof guy and an 89 proof body.
Thank you. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's not
As
wrong.
long as you accept it. just accept it.
I got a funny feeling one of my friends is going to be popping in here just to visit, and he's going to be sad that we finished the guest blend, but he's going to be able to try the Bavarian Rhapsody and the Echo Rye whiskey as well. Okay, so we kind of hinted at we still have the past to try, right?
We still have the past to try.
Still have the past to try. All right, well,
How much of that can I have?
Look, dude, I
haven't even tasted this
at
yet.
the end of the
You
day,
have work in the
at the end of the day,
This is gonna be like water when you get to this.
Yes,
so
this
it's
is
only
going to taste, that's
75
only
proof.
75.
75.
It's gonna
At
be
the end of the
refreshing.
day, you're a grown ass man.
Make my own
You
decisions.
make your own decisions. But the decisions you make,
Dino made me.
I have to deal with. So,
He made me try it.
all right. So here we go. That's happiness in
nice
a glass
blend.
right
It's-
there, man. Smooth.
Smooth, smooth. It's got all the components. You can
It's
pick
got
up
a
the
lot
nice
of flavor
notes.
profiles.
It's
going
definitely
in there.
a lot of depth. Yeah.
Yeah.
It truly is the best of.
Yeah,
So this one, I believe this was Adam's blend, right?
I believe. Yeah, it was Adam and
I think it was
or both.
It was a combination.
Yeah.
So you guys know Ann Dimmick, obviously. So I think it was kind of this particular choice. Like I said, we were all kind of sitting around making different blends. And this one was kind of come up with by a collaboration of Ann and Adam Hines from High Bank.
High bank, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So both of them fantastic blenders, tasters.
Yeah.
And that's why it won. I mean, they know what they're doing. They came up with something wonderful.
Is this still available for sale anywhere? The
It-
Distiller's Blend?
I don't
Anybody-
believe
does
so. I
anybody-
think it
bottles of
all
it.
sold out.
Yeah, I mean, if
That's
you want to come
a
get
shame.
a
Well,
drink, there's a bar that you
We
can
do,
go to.
yeah, we do have it at the bar. I believe there are 4 cases still sitting in the state inventory that are going to be held for
auction.
like a bottle raffle.
Bottle raffle.
What's it-
Bottle
what's it
raffle,
called?
okay.
Yeah.
And how is the bar doing?
It's going good. It's starting to pick up, which is really good to see. There was a lot of, in the last year and a half, a lot of uncertain times for sure. People's behavior just kind of changed.
Sure.
It wasn't,
Absolutely.
We'd have, a couple good days, weeks in a row, and then you have a random Saturday where almost no one comes in, and you're trying to track it back to other events going on or just other stuff happening, and sometimes you just can't. But we're definitely seeing a lot more, more stability, a lot more repeat customers. That was our biggest issue from the pandemic was reach. We'd barely started out. We didn't, distilleries are reliant on tours and festivals and those sorts of things to get in front of as many new people as possible. And, 10% of them are going to become regular customers for you. And without having the ability to do tours and the ability to do festivals and tastings and all those sorts of things, it was a much slower, build to get to that level where we needed to be at.
For the record and for the podcast, let everybody know where the bar is.
Yeah, Echo Spirits, the bar at Echo Spirits. It's in our distillery. It's at 985 West 6th Avenue in the Grandview neighborhood. So in Columbus, that was our address. Right around the corner, right off the beaten path, right between King Avenue
cool
and
location.
5th.
And as far as the trail that we have here in Columbus, is that willy-nilly? People just pop on it whenever they want?
Yeah,
or
so-
are there actually scheduled times? So all of a sudden, you get people just popping in going, we're on the Columbus Bourbon Trail.
So we partnered. It's partnership between the Ohio Distillers Guild and Experience Columbus. Columbus's tourism group, and we really couldn't have pulled it off without them. We've always talked about doing a trail. There's still other ideas to launch an all Ohio trail. We just got to find the right partner, somebody to do a lot of that lifting.
There's a lot of great
distilleries.
We've had a lot of bottles from a lot of other places outside of Columbus on this podcast. Great Western has been one of them. We have
a bunch of Cleveland.
Cleveland. Cleveland's got
a couple of Cleveland.
Yep.
Definitely try out M&O Spirits.
We have had M&O on here.
Okay.
There's one person, and I apologize in advance that we still not have had on here, and I know that you've had a relationship with them, is 451.
Absolutely. Chad.
Oh, yeah.
Chad.
He's
Chad,
the mad
great guy.
scientist.
Chad is the mad
scientist.
Chad.
He's the one that will put cigarettes and ink in his whiskey.
Chad,
definitely.
Chad.
Absolutely, he
If
would
there
do
is a
that.
mad,
Probably
if
the
there is
closest
a
one to you
mad
guys, yeah.
scientist in
Not
this
that far
town,
It
as
is.
far as making spirits, it would be him. And
Chad comes there. Absolutely.
I'm apologizing again. We got to get Chad on here.
Well, and we've met him, we've talked to him, we've invited him on. It just
Chad
has
was
never,
the first.
yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
as generous as your offer was to make a whiskey business, Chad offered that up
right before
Sure.
COVID.
right before COVID.
And it just kind of fizzled
So
off. Yeah.
if Chad, if you're listening, we're scheduling. We
want to put typewriter ink in a barrel and see what happens.
We want to put it's typewriter ribbon.
Whatever.
Actually,
Okay,
and
whatever.
don't say whatever. I collect typewriters.
Ooh.
It's going to show you how they work later.
All right, moving this away. Moving this away.
You could have just switched glasses. You never would have.
All right,
You
let's.
never
I
remember.
rinsed out
But yeah,
my
like
glass
with our copper series, our previous one was with Chad.
with
Yeah,
Chad.
the
Yeah.
first release of the experimental series was with Chad. It was called the Forgotten Brandies. You're going to notice a trend of us losing track of things.
Right.
So it's the Forgotten Brandies. We were just sitting one day over a drink at the bar. Chad was over, and we were just chatting about different projects we had going and stuff. And one of us, I don't even remember who brought it up first, remembered, oh, hey, I've got some like brandy that's sitting in a barrel. And we're like, hey, wait a minute, we do too.
That's awesome.
And we both just had kind of distilled them, set them aside, let them age for, I don't know, it was just kind of a fun project. And then and we forgot about them, and so we decided to get together, blend them,
Forgotten Brandies.
the Forgotten Brandies. So it was
And
the
and
first
isn't-
collaborative bottle between two
And
distilleries.
I love,
Brandies or,
I love I don't know why I lean towards brandies more towards the winter months
Yeah,
than anything
definitely,
else.
definitely.
But I
They're,
love a good
they're trending
brandy.
upwards, man. It's a bull market
absolutely.
for brandy.
Yeah, it's,
Do you like that term?
Yeah, it's a bull market for brandy. Yeah, I do. Actually,
It's
I
the
do.
smartest thing I've ever said in my life.
I was there.
It's the smartest thing you said tonight. Man, you said some other smart things.
All right, thank you.
I give you credit for other smart things that you said. Do you two work well together?
Unlike
we have to.
Do you two work well together? Because I will say honestly that I cannot do this podcast without these two.
Yeah, absolutely.
John's
Oh, yeah,
kind of
definitely.
quiet tonight. He's kind of laying back this evening. But I swear to God, I could not. If either one of these guys dropped out of this podcast at this point, I think I would stop doing it. I would think I would stop doing
Every
it.
person finds their role, does what they're
Right,
good at,
right,
and that's how you
know,
build success.
I don't think I could replace either one of them. If one of them decided to drop out, I would say, all right, I'm done too.
Stopping at 97.
So close to 200. So close.
Oh man! All right, so let's close out with the past. if we can, with the Jennifer, and tell us, for those who are uninitiated in the spirits of Echo, the Jennifer is what?
So we like to talk about how we found Geneva first.
Geneva.
So
I'm saying
there's
it
so
wrong.
it is from one of those parts of the world where there are a dozen different languages and a dozen different ways to say the name of the spirit. All
Geneva.
of those are correct. We picked Geneva, but I've never heard anybody say something that isn't one of those list of languages.
So yeah.
So it's about 2013. Nikhil and I, and actually our buddy from North High, went over to Europe. We went and did Oktoberfest.
Oh, nice.
If you're going to go to Oktoberfest, you don't just go for a weekend, right? You putz around Europe for a few weeks. And if you're going to putz around
in
Europe,
Germany specifically,
Germany,
or just
all over
the-
Western
okay,
Europe,
okay.
mostly Germany.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go to Europe for a couple weeks, I recommend you find a place to do laundry in the middle of the trip, right? Then you can, instead of 2 weeks of laundry, you've got 1 week of laundry. It's great. So my cousin's in the Air Force. He was stationed over in Germany at the time. So we went and stayed with him and his wife. And they'd kind of been all over Europe at that point. They'd been stationed there for about 4 years. And he knew the next day we're going to Ghent in Belgium. He says, "Hey, you guys are going to dig this. There's this bar. Okay, it's a gin bar, but it's not a gin bar. I'm not exactly sure what it is. And you're going to go down to the riverfront there. There's not going to be a sign. Okay, and you're gonna walk down this dark alley. This is 100% true. I shit you not.
No,
You're gonna
it's
go
a great
down
story.
this dark alley. Okay, and there's gonna be this door, and above the door, there's gonna be this guy's face painted on the wall. Okay, you're gonna knock on the door, and you're gonna open it. You're gonna go in, and that dude, the face dude, he's gonna be sitting in the corner. And he's going to grunt at you because he's, one, not very friendly, and two, he speaks Flemish, not English, okay? But he's got a translator guy. You're in luck, so he's going to hand you a menu, and it's in English and in Flemish. And you're going to go and you're going to have a great time, okay? So apparently, though, so we go there, we go to Ghent, and apparently not having a sign on your bar and needing to wander down a dark alley to get to said bar is a thing.
Yeah.
So we wandered into about 3 of the wrong bars
Oh, that's
before
great.
we found
man.
the right bar, and we're like, where's the face? We can't find the face.
Can't find the guy. Can't
Find
the
the
guy.
face guy eventually, get in there, and at this point we're already having a good time. Went in there, had that promised good time, but we didn't really know what we got into, and it wasn't until years later that Echo Spirits kind of adapted from that idea of opening a brewery to opening a distillery, that we looked back at that experience and said, what was that? And we find out it's this thing called Geneva, and ultimately at its base, Geneva's the ancestor to gin.
Okay, I like gin. Gin was my
Like gin.
go-to in college.
That was your go-to.
How is
So-
she?
Gin.
Oh,
not
yeah.
gin.
Okay, right.
But
Yeah, gin.
So whereas in gin, though, you make a vodka first and then turn it into gin.
Right.
This, you're essentially making a malt whiskey and turning it into gin.
Oh, interesting.
Lower juniper content, has to have juniper involved, same root
Right.
word, juniper, gin, Geneva, all the same root word. But this, unlike where it's 100% about the botanicals, in gin rather, this is equally about the grainy, earthy base, the whiskey side of it. And then the botanicals that are sitting on top, you see some of the usual suspects, the orange peel, the lemon peel,
Sure.
those kind of things. But orris root and sesame seed and cardamom and
Peppercorn.
peppercorn.
Peppercorn is a big part of your lives.
It is. It
It
has
really
become
is.
a
It
big
really
part of our
is. It
lives.
really is.
And actually, most of the color in this comes from
dill.
the enormous amount of dill that we put in it. So it's definitely not we start out people saying it's kind of a gin, kind of a whiskey, but it's really going to depend on what you've had before to know what
Okay.
you think it tastes like.
Whitney, I know you're not on a microphone tonight, but your wife loves gin,
Yes.
right? And she
Her
like
name
this?
is Jen too.
Would she like this? Yeah?
Yeah, I think she'd like this.
She would like this?
Yeah.
All right.
I think she'd like this.
Can you talk about we've been talking about you guys' role in the community and the collaboration and stuff. Like, tell us how you pick, because they had
All
like
your words.
I don't even know how to explain it. You had because I don't know exactly what happened, but you had a handful of bartenders in the
right,
community,
right. Yeah.
like pick
help
the flavor.
us with it.
Yeah.
So we kind of, I don't know of anything ever quite done like that before. So essentially, Nikhil and I felt really confident kind of coming up with that grain, that whiskey base to
It's
it.
really good.
And the botanicals on top, that's where we're not so versed and where we really wanted bartender help. So we invited 8 of our bartender friends to come in, and we just kind of laid out. We bought all the ingredients we could. We get it all from North Market Spices, laid it all out across the bar, the whole length of the bar, and gave them bottles and said, pick out anything you like from this, come up with an infusion, bring it back to us. And all 8 of them came up with something totally different. None of them
not surprised.
were the same at all. And none of them were what this is either. But we learned something from every single one of them, what we did like, what we didn't like. This needs to be balanced with that sort of thing, till we kind of then came together and built it as one final blend. So we called it the Geneva Convention.
The Geneva Convention. That's awesome. All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up here this evening. I'm going to tell you this much right off the gate. By the time you guys get this podcast, if there's any left as of this podcast, get it.
That's the Bavarian.
The Bavarian Rhapsody. It's great. There's only 70 bottles as of this tasting.
And it's only going to be
tonight.
available at the bottle
Yeah,
shop.
that's only at our spirit shop at Echo
Echo
Spirits.
So you got to go to Echo Spirits.
If you're
to
listening
get
out of
that.
town, I'll
But
mail
this
it
one-
to you.
Find a close friend.
This one is readily available to everywhere that
the
sells
rye.
Absolutely.
Echo Spirits Rye. And this, the number 4,
Batch 4 is going to start flowing out in the next 2 weeks.
next 2 weeks is excellent. And this one,
And you can buy the rye at
The
at
rye
every
whiskeys,
liquor store.
we're just in
and-
Central
and-
Ohio
yeah.
with that one, but 30 or 40 liquor stores
Yeah.
around Central Ohio.
and this one,
The Geneva, same thing. 30 or 40
Always-
stores, Central Ohio.
always
all around.
available.
Some,
Always
a little
available.
bit of Cincinnati.
Well, and that's
but
on the
that one too.
fourth, number 4 too.
fourth.
Is that about the same, or is that something completely different? It's got the number 4 on the side.
It's
Probably
also batch
fourth
number
batch,
4. It just
but-
happens to line up. It's funny. We do tend to. The rye whiskey tends to come out with a new batch right around the same time, and Geneva comes out with the new batch, and
Right.
in between there we're cranking rum.
And then the distiller's blend. The only way you can really get it is come to the restaurant.
Come to the restaurant and have some of that.
Get a
Yeah,
shot.
we've got a
right?
bunch of bottles up
I'm going to
there.
have to.
And look out for
gonna have to-
version number 2 and version number 3 coming out
Do
this
the
year.
other restaurants, the other collaborators?
So you guys are going to
have it?
collaborate again.
We're going to do it again. So Cincinnati, we're currently working on a blend and another whiskey festival held in collaboration with that blend down in Cincinnati. That's probably going to be May or June at this point. We're kind of
That's-
finalizing it. And then
okay,
we're going to
now-
do another Central Ohio one
I
with
need
another
to-
whiskey
I need to
festival
get in
in
touch with some
October.
Cincinnati people because we don't have any of the Cincinnati people on this podcast yet. As far
There's
we've
a
had
lot
Cle-
of cool,
we've had
fun
Cleveland.
stuff going down in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Okay. You approve?
Absolutely.
You
I do.
know,
It's good stuff, and
They're
they've got
doing. They're doing. Are they up to the Columbus
Snuff.
level? Because I think
I do
slightly
think
prejudiced.
Columbus is. I'm prejudiced too. I think Columbus is top tier. I think Cincinnati's, playing catch up pretty quick there. For the longest time they didn't have a lot of distilleries because with the way Ohio's rules work, why would you open a distillery in Cincinnati when you could go right across the river and do
to
it in
Kentucky,
Kentucky?
right?
Because there's a bunch
Exactly.
right there in Newport.
Yep, right across. Yeah, Covington,
Yeah.
Newport area. Yeah, so Cincinnati proper is playing a little bit of catch up just age wise, but there's some really good stuff starting to
Okay.
happen down there too.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Future reference. The bottom line on this particular podcast and on all of the tastings is I'm thrilled that from the last time we talked to you in 2020 during the pandemic, when things were debatable at the best, that here in 2022 you guys are thriving and kicking ass and putting out great new product, and God bless, man. Continued success with everything. Nikhil,
Thank you.
thank you for being here. Joe, thank you for being here. People, Echo Spirits, good stuff. Echo. How'd the name came up? How'd you come up with the name, by the way?
The first 3 spirits, the rum, the rye whiskey, and the Geneva, were all more popular before Prohibition than they are now. So it's kind of looking back, an echo of the past, but kind of bringing those things forward into a modern, more light.
I like that. Until the next bottles. See ya.